So it is my great honor to introduce the governor of the great state of Maryland, Martin O'Malley.
Give yourselves a round of applause. There we go. It is a great privilege and honor to be here with all of you, and I want to say thank you to all of you who have seen what an outstanding opportunity we have as Marylanders to elect an Attorney General who's going to be on our side.
All right.
An Attorney General who not only has the heart to represent the people of our state, and quite frankly, the common good, which sometimes goes lacking for lawyers. But he is also a public servant who has demonstrated time and time and time again the sound judgment, the intellect, and the capacity to bring people from different points of view together to talk about the more important things that unite us and that lead us forward. Brian was very humble in his repetition and his litany and list of the things that together we've accomplished as a people over these last several years. He was at the forefront of each and every one of those. When you are the chair of the Judicial Proceedings Committee of the Maryland State Senate, that is an extremely important position. Everything, all of the laws that so directly affect that belief we share in the dignity of every individual, those laws, their evolution, their growth, their perfection, all of those things come before the Senate Judicial Proceedings Committee. And each and every time we face some issues that had the capacity to pull us apart, Brian Frosh always found a way to bring us together for the common good, for the dignity of every individual. Many of us in this room can say we supported many important causes that make our state a better place and a more just place, a more safe and secure place. But very few of us have played the leading role in those efforts to the degree that Senator Brian Frosh has. Before the O'Malley-Brown administration, he was a leader in helping us to clean up the Bay. In fact, I do believe it was Brian, along with some of his colleagues here, who sponsored the nation-leading legislation that removed phosphorus from our detergent. And at the time, a lot of the big, powerful special interests said, oh, don't do that, it can't be done, we can never adjust to these new standards. But Brian said, yes, it can be done, and we need to do it for the health of the Bay and for our children's future. And now all 49 other states in the United States have done the same thing. So whether it was climate change, whether it was the health of the Bay, whether it was improving public safety and saving lives, particularly reducing violent crimes against women and children that can start off cycles and cycles of unending violence if that cycle is not broken. Brian was there on each and every one of those, on domestic violence, on protecting children from abuse, on reducing what had been Maryland's shamefully high juvenile homicide rate, which we've now cut in half over the last 7 years. And all of these things, especially with the advent of new technology, with the internet, with DNA, require an attorney general with sound judgment, with the ability to understand the law, the ramifications of the law, that is able to balance the security imperatives that we share as a people with our individual rights and our individual freedoms, which we should never, ever relinquish or give up. There are very few people that I can think of better qualified to be Maryland's lawyer, the lawyer for the people of Maryland, for the common good of Maryland, for the future of Maryland, for the children of Maryland, and for our grandchildren than this man can. And I say that having known a couple of really outstanding attorneys. I mean, I greatly admire, and all of us, some of us in this room can remember Steve Sachs and the energy that he brought to that office. To be on the people's side, especially when you face crises in the economy like the foreclosure crisis. Boy, the banks had no shortage finding enough lawyers. But the people who were trying to save their homes for their kids needed somebody that was on their side. And Brian was on their side then. He's going to be on their side as Attorney General as well. I remember Joe Kern. Through many, many years, Joe Kern led our state, led what he would often refer to proudly as the greatest law office in the state. A group of men and women who were committed to protect the common good and the public interest. And Joe did that every single day with energy, with integrity, and with judgment, always standing up for kids, always standing up for the environment and the health of the Bay, standing up for seniors, standing up for consumers. Look, ladies and gentlemen, we're all free to hire our own lawyer, but only one lawyer do we select to represent all of us together and that greater prosperity that we seek and that common good that all of us share. It has been a great privilege to be able to serve with this man over these last 7 years in the Maryland General Assembly. You see his colleagues up here. They all take a little bit of a chance and a little bit of a risk. They could all say, well, I'm just going to let that work itself out. I'm not going to take a position. But it's sometimes in these contests, those of us who are public servants feel a deep responsibility to at least share the perspective that we know from having worked in the halls of the General Assembly. And the truth that all of us know is that Brian Frosh is going to be an outstanding Attorney General for our state. He is the best candidate in this race, and I wholeheartedly endorse a man of energy, a man of integrity, and a man of very sound judgment who will stand up for us and protect Maryland's future. Brian Frosh for Attorney General.